Now what I'm about to show you, I should have showed you when I was building it, but it took me so much time, and it was spring, I didn't have time to make a video of it. And Deb was on my ass about not making a video of it, and I wished I would have. But like I said, it's almost you needed two people, one running the camera and one running the machine. But I want to show you what I had going. You see that ditch right there? That was a problem. The water from uphill, from the cabin, was all running down to that ditch and going behind the pond. Well, this spring I got aggressive, and I took this hillside and I cut a 100-yard swale to divert the water straight to the pond, and it didn't go over. 4 inches of rain didn't go over this berm. Now I can show you. You can see how much water washed rock down in here, and you can see where the water came from. Thousands of gallons of water come down through here. That without doing that, they were going in the head of this ditch. And so I was missing out on any rainwater that would come. It would go in that ditch and go behind the pond. But you can see how it all glazed down through here. And you can see the swale that I cut. I knocked a few trees down. And you can see how the water flowed right down the center of that swale. And it took some driveway rock. Now that's some moving. When I washed that driveway walk, I probably washed that a good 30 yards, 40 yards down in that swale. But see, I was missing out on all this. I was missing out on all this water coming off the cabin and everything, because this was all going like this down to that ditch. But I cut the swale, made a berm here, and then when the water came down off that hill, it would go straight east instead of straight south, which you can see that ground was all level across here, and it would just sheet across here. It didn't raise the pond at all. But cutting this swale was basically 100 yards long, and I had about 3 trees I had to take out. But it never went over the top. It held 4 inches of downpour water. You can see that on the grass seed that I seeded in here. It'll take a few years for it to get all grown in, but none of it jumped over the you can see it got up here pretty high, but it didn't go over the top. It kept just flowing straight. There's the pond up ahead. And I captured all that water. And now that I done that, I do wish I would have made a video of doing the excavation on it. But I didn't have time because it took a long time. I had to move a lot of dirt, and it was in my busy time. But all that water from up there at that hill, none of it was going into the pond. It was just going right straight down that hill. Because you can see how the slope of the ground was. It just right over the swale and into that useless ditch. But now you can see how much water, it carried a lot of water to the pond that the pond would never get. And right over there is where I got stuck the other night, Tuesday night. I got stuck just on the other side of these silt socks. And you can see that had those rocks and stuff, but I was stuck right there, and that pond's clear full, and it hasn't been that full for quite a few years. But we've been in a drought every fall, but it really came into play. But I've moved dirt my whole life, and I know how to cut swales, and that swale, you can see how it flared out when it hit the silt socks and kept the residue, but it all went into the pond. Whereas in the past, yeah, I wouldn't have got near that kind of water at all. But it's up there now. And like I say, I took 4 inches of a downpour, and that was quite a lot. I wished I would. Hindsight, foresight, and all that bull is irrelevant. I'm going to stand this rock up. That's the spillway. So when that gets filled up, it don't go over the dam. It runs out this way, and you can see it. Could have held more water, but it really did a good job of running that water to that. But I'll tell you, it takes a lot of work to be a recreational farmer and landowner, because you can't let the place. That's why this is all mowed. Why I got stuck the other day with the mower with maintenance. I don't care how beautiful a woman or man you are, if you let yourself go, you'll look like something standing on the curbside. But boy, that pond's beautiful. And the diversion of that water. Well, it's too late now, but hindsight's 20/20. I'd have gave anything. You can see how wide that path of water was. That was a lot of water coming straight to this pond, where normally the way it was, that bank wasn't there. It just washed straight into that ditch. That's it. If I'd have got stuck there today, well, you wouldn't have been down here today because it's too wet to mow. But yeah, pond's up to the spillway, and everything looks like it's in order. 4 inches of rain. Can you imagine that? Let's go in the cabin and make sure it ain't got no leaks. Yeah, I put these rain spouts on last year, and they helped get the water away from the cabin, and they helped shoot more water straight to the pond also. You got to do that stuff, or you're just ruining your assets. What a beautiful sight. I'll have to get me some more pond blue and put it on there tomorrow. It's bank full all the way around. And that should be putting that pond right up between 15 and 16 feet deep. Just remember one thing. When you plant food plots in Iowa, there's no guarantee. You can have a drought, you can have 4 inches of rain, but you still got to go and buy the material and all that. But don't let these so-called professionals try to tell you, you do this, do that, and you'll get that. Because all they're trying to do is make green bucks off of brown bucks. Go with Whitetail Institute, the #1 food plot business in the United States, as far as that goes in the world. Ray Scott started that, and his memory's still out there in the woods. But there's no guarantees who you are, what your personality is, or whatever, that you can grow anything but frustration. Well, that's it from the non-typical.